Hello and welcome to Emergent Soul Conversations, the podcast promoting self-love and awareness with the hopes of developing sisterhood and community. We will be discussing concepts that pull on the hearts of today's woman. I'm your host, Karen Elaine, and I will share my life experiences along with inviting others to sit down with me who inspire me and also have a willingness to share their soul's journey. This podcast will give us meaningful and intimate conversations that'll help us create a life by design and not default. If this is your first time listening in, I thank you. Now on till today's episode. When did you first realize you weren't alone in this spiritual thing called soul journeying? Was it when you started talking to others like yourself? Fierce women who had gone through battles, storms, triumphs, letdowns, and everything in between, and still smiled, dreamed, and dared to make incredible plans for their futures. What makes one woman lay down and never get up again, and another woman be determined to never give up? The more I speak to others in an authentic way, stripped bare of the pretense, attitudes, and premeditated expectations, the more I understand that we are all linked on many levels. We need each other physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We need to hear one another's stories of sorrow, resilience, perseverance, and hope. Too often, particularly with women, we only want to put our best foot forward. We want to present our "I've got it, girl" face to the world all the time, even when things aren't going right. And when we do that, we miss the opportunity for growth to occur. Not only is there a woman like me who desperately wants to share her story of triumph and self-continued actualization, but there's a woman who desperately needs to hear it. But if we all keep hiding our truths, then no one knows. And I'm here to make that stop. Let's stop smiling when we feel like crying. Let's stop putting up with less than when we deserve more. Let's stop accepting the leftovers in life. Let's stop making our sisters feel less than because they aren't skinny, pretty, smart, accomplished, rich, married, raising children, whatever. We need to stop forcing women to have these expectations placed upon themselves of always having to do something. We are called human beings, not human doings. One of the first things I've realized on my journey is that when I stop focusing on what I expect others to be, it leaves a lot more time and space for me to work on myself. When I stopped pretending about everything, my authenticity guides me like a river to the ocean. It's not forced and it's not fabricated. Honestly, it's quite the opposite. When I started just doing me, it was like, whoa, watch out. I'm discovering along my soul journey that as long as I'm doing things from a place within my core that's true and passionate, life holds no boundaries. I am literally set free to be the woman that I was designed from birth to be. I believe our essence, our authentic self, resides in us since birth and waits for us to have life experience before it presents itself. Being you takes time, patience, maturity, and a willingness to accept its revelation. You have to let it marinate before it's ready for all of its layers, flavors, and nuances to unfold. You just have to be ready to live your truth. I consider myself lucky when my inner essence called me and I listened. And I'm not going to lie, it didn't happen at first. I was busy being a wife, a mother, a salesperson extraordinaire, and an entrepreneur. And I'm still some of those things. But I had to learn to let that enchanting voice of truth whisper to me, then guide me along the path in all of my affairs. It's like my own inner North Star, which I carried along. So when you think of your own travels as a sojourner, your own truth, It's unfolding inside of you. What are you learning about yourself? Maybe that you're not working in a career that generates passion, or maybe you're not in a romantic partnership that brings the love you deserve. For me, I had to walk through seasons of heartbreak in my marriage and mothering. I had to watch my body attack itself and become my enemy. I had to struggle financially in an economy that has devoured dreams. And all of these things threatened me in my belief of who I was in a woman. Yet, I had to sustain through it all. I had an irresistible, irrepressible desire to be true to myself and the power that I knew carried it with others. The more I divulged, the more I realized how interwoven our lives are on this planet. I became amazed as I listened to the story from strangers who, just like me, had come through an incredible, sometimes a horrific circumstances and were still able to brave and daring. So what makes one woman able to walk through the fire and still carry on? From everything I'm hearing and learning and knowing in my own truth, it's this, that we are confident in our abilities to survive and thrive. In your lifetime, many things build your confidence, but there's nothing like surviving adversity that sharpens steel. Jay-Z once said, "I've learned more from failures than success, and I don't know how you learn from success. I haven't figured that part out yet." Life is a series of trial and error, falling down and getting up, 2 steps forward and 1 step backwards. No one has a charmed life all of the time. Conversely, no one is cursed all the time either. We must learn to accept the fact that we are called to do something great, and this calling within us, if we'll only listen. However, we spend too much time getting bogged down in life's minutia, wringing our hands over things that have happened to us, fretting about the future. According to Abraham Hicks, worrying is using your imagination to create something you don't want. Instead of focusing on things that have already come to pass and are behind us, or circumstances that are beyond our control, what if we focused on following our passion? What if we listened to that voice that keeps us urging to follow a different path than the one that we're on now? What if we were true to ourselves and not to the voices of the world telling us we're something we're not? Ask yourself this question. If I could start being exactly who I wish to be today, what would that look like? And I'm not talking about the physical manifestation of yourself. I'm talking about your soul, your essence. If we all viewed by the content of our character, the significance of our spirit, and the earnestness of our essence, how would we shine? Would others be drawn to the beauty of our substance? Would we be the kind of person that could make another emulate us and want to know us deeply? My hope for myself and for everyone that I meet is that we continue to go deep into ourselves. By doing so, we will develop relationships that are intimate, profound, life-affirming, and far-reaching. We can change the world with relationships like this. Hearts get healed, spirits are soothed, and we are all transformed into the authentic version of who we're designed to be. Your essence will speak truth to you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Emergent Soul Conversations. Join me next time to gain more insights on how to live a life by design and not default. If this was your first time tuning into the show, please make sure and hit the subscribe button below and follow me on Instagram at Emergent Soul. Remember, what happens to you does not define you. Your Emergent Soul.